Hi, it's Katrina! From strange formations in the mountains to horrifying punishments from the past, here are 9 incredible discoveries scientists can't explain. Number 9. Scottish Ghost Village. Brew, a former farming town in Scotland's Shetland Islands, located just south of the Arctic Circle, experienced extreme weather, including bone-chilling temperatures and harsh winds. Oddly, however, the settlement ultimately succumbed to sandstorms that began pummeling the island around 1665. While windswept sand from the shore was nothing unusual, these storms occurred on a magnitude unlike anything the townspeople had ever seen before, destroying their homes and crops and giving them no other choice than to flee. Scientists have long wondered why Brew suffered so severely, while nearby towns experienced far less damage. One reason the sandstorms were uncharacteristically unforgiving was timing, as a mini ice age permeated the globe during the 16th and 17th centuries. But that still doesn't explain why Brew bore the brunt of Mother Nature's misgivings. Using a technique called optically stimulated luminescence, which detects the last time sediments were exposed to light, historian and archaeologist Gerald Bigelow of Bates College in Lewiston, Maine, led a team in excavating and studying the site. They identified evidence of much worse than usual sandstorms hitting Brew in the mid-16th and late 17th centuries. The evidence aligns with weather reports from the era detailing unusually harsh wind conditions, while a computer simulation suggests the wind speeds decreased significantly right around Brew, causing the immense sand deposits that ravaged the town. But geography, timing, and weather don't fully explain the situation, according to Bigelow, who speculated that the introduction of a grass-eating rabbit population, along with sheep grazing near the coast, perhaps helped to destabilize Brew's sand dunes. Additionally, Bigelow cites the events that wrecked Brew as a sign that modern climatologists should consider the potential effects of climate change and how they may differ even between places that are very close to one another. While much of the explanation behind Brew's destruction is based on theory, some researchers have admitted that it seems credible. What's your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Number 8. Pyramid-shaped Chinese burial. In March 2017, archaeologists discovered a mysterious pyramid-shaped tomb beneath a construction site in Zhengzhou, the capital city of China's Henan province. Based on an initial analysis, experts surmised that the tomb likely dates back to the Han Dynasty, otherwise known as China's Golden Age, which lasted from 202 BC to 220 AD. The strange structure, nicknamed the Pyramid of Zhengzhou, is just 6 feet tall, and researchers are unsure who is buried there and why it was made in this shape. The pyramid is one of 2 found inside a coffin chamber, with the other one in the shape of a half-cylinder. The chamber is 98 feet long and 26 feet wide, with a little aisle leading to them. Locals were just as baffled, yet fascinated by the discovery, with one resident describing it as truly magical, adding, "I've never seen anything like it." During the suspected era of the tomb's origins, around 2,000 years ago, China experienced a booming economy, which included the introduction of the Silk Road, a series of ancient lucrative trade routes connecting the East and West. There are other circular-shaped tombs with pointed roofs that have also been found in the region. What do you think about these pyramid tombs? Let me know in the comments. And now for number 7. But first, want to give a big shout out to Jarrett Navarrete Peña and Sandy Reyes 87 for supporting this channel. I also want to give a big thank you to all of you who are watching our videos. We are actually having a giveaway right now. We will be giving away an Origins Explained t-shirt to 2 lucky winners, and you can select your design from the 4 models we have on Teespring. All you have to do is be subscribed and leave a comment below with the hashtag Origins. Check out the pinned comment below that will have all the details. Number 7. Royal Stone Head. In August 2019, archaeologists digging at Shaftesbury Abbey in Dorset, England, discovered a 14th century stone head that, in the words of expert Dr. Julian Richards, raises a lot more questions than it answers. Richards led the excavation that uncovered the artifact, which was found with a rosary bead. The gender and identity of the head is unknown, although it depicts a royal, perhaps the monarch Edward II, according to an examination performed by Dr. Jonathan Foyle, director of Build Heritage Limited. It dates back to the 1340s and boasts a similar hairstyle to other known images and carvings of Edward II of the time. Hairstyles can also be quite generic, Richards admitted. It could be a queen rather than a king, or a general royal figure to emphasize Shaftesbury's royal connections. King Alfred the Great founded Shaftesbury Abbey in 888 as the first religious house for women, and was dissolved in 1539 by the famous or infamous Henry VIII, depending on how you view him. The building was completely ruined by 1550, with much of its stone being repurposed for other constructions. Archaeologists were nearing the end of their work at the site when they found the stone head, which is unlike any other artifacts collected there. Both the head and the rosary bead will be on display when the Shaftesbury Abbey Museum and Gardens, which are closed due to the ongoing global coronavirus pandemic, reopen in spring of 2021. Number 6. Strange mythical bathroom tile beast. While excavating the basement at the Courtauld Institute of Art in late 2019, archaeologists with the Museum of London Archaeology, or MOLA, discovered a 14th century cesspit that was paradoxically filled with priceless artifacts. A cesspit and artifacts? That should not go together. Included among the treasures were a gold-plated ring, an iron horse-riding spur, and a double-pronged post-medieval fork. The most intriguing among the artifacts was, in the words of MOLA senior archaeologist Antonietta Lertz, who spoke with Life Science, a strange mythical creature with a human head at one end and a leaf-like tail at the other. Measuring roughly 15 by 15 feet and at a depth of over 13 feet, the chalk-lined cesspit was used for storing human waste for at least a century. It once sat beneath Chester Inn, the Bishop of Chester's London home. While this might sound gross, these places are amazing for archaeologists because you can learn so much about a culture from their waste. The chamber was converted into a cellar by the 17th century. Subsequent changes were added, with the last addition to the space being a small 19th century latrine. The valuable artifacts that were found in the pit were presumably thrown away or left there over the years. But archaeologists lack an explanation for the floor tile bearing the strange beast, which dates back to sometime between 1350 and 1390. They identified it as a Penn tile, manufactured in the Buckinghamshire village of Penn. But how an item that was normally used in monasteries ended up in a cesspit remains a mystery. Number 5. Three Whale Rock. Hin Sam Wan, or Three Whale Rock, is a 75-million-year-old rock formation in northeastern Thailand that, when you look at it from the sky, looks like you're looking at a family of whales swimming through the forest. At the right angle, it looks like they are jutting out right over a cliff or mountaintop that also looks like a wave. They are situated on a remote mountainside in a nationally protected reserve containing the Kala Rainforest, Phu Sing Forest, and Pink Dong Forest. The landmark, characterized by a series of 3 rocks that stick out from the landscape, is reachable via a lengthy trail network that offers 9 different routes to the top. Once you get there, you can access breathtaking views, including the Mekong beaches, the mountains of the Pakading district in neighboring Laos, and Phu Wua Forest. The unusually long, smooth shapes of the 3 whale rock formations have understandably drawn widespread attention regarding their origins, because they look very unnatural. People wonder if they were perhaps smoothed out by humans, or if they are natural, how did they form in this shape? Most scientists agree that the structures formed naturally, acquiring their current shape as a result of millions of years' worth of exposure to the elements. The rock is sandstone, which weathers quite slowly and looks kind of similar to those found in the southwest desert of the United States. They may have been carved by the wind, but these formations are in the jungle and not in the dry desert, which is much easier to carve. But some people wonder why the formations at Three Whale Rock are the only examples of such bizarrely shaped rocks in the area. What happened here? What do you think? Did this strange site form naturally, or do you think we're missing something? Let me know in the comments below. Number 4. A brutal end. A recently published study depicts what experts believe was the first case of intentional facial mutilation in Anglo-Saxon England. A young woman's nose was removed, most likely as a punishment. The findings are based on the 1,100-year-old skull of a young woman whose nose and upper lip appear to be deliberately removed and who may have also been scalped. Her injuries are consistent with historical records detailing punishments of female criminal offenders, but the age of her skull predates these written accounts by about a century. We can only speculate as to what happened in this instance, but the highly formalized nature of the woman's injuries suggests penalties for specific actions, such as sexual deviancy, or at least a perception of such, lead researcher Gerard Cole told Life Science. The discovery of the skull itself is nothing new. It was found during the 1960s amid routine excavations prior to the construction of a housing development. Yikes, glad I didn't find it. Then it was placed into a collection that sat in storage until it was rediscovered relatively recently. The skull was paid such little attention after its initial discovery, in fact, that it was still covered in soil when scientists revisited it. Based on the new findings, the victim was likely between 15 and 18 years old when she died, sometime between 776 and 899 AD. An isotope analysis of her teeth suggests that she was from outside the area. As far as her injuries go, both wounds seem to have been made by a sharp, thin-bladed weapon, Cole explained, most likely an iron knife. There is no evidence of the teenager's wounds healing, indicating that she died while receiving the barbaric punishment. Quite a horrible way to go. How the young woman died is far less of a mystery than why. When it comes to whatever she supposedly did wrong, unless written documentation is found, we probably won't ever find out. Number 3. Mummified Penguin Cemetery. A team of biologists led by researcher Stephen Emsley from the University of North Carolina recently discovered a large collection of mummified penguins in Cape Irizar. While this might not sound that strange, this is a part of Antarctica that penguins are not known to frequent in the first place. Based on radiocarbon dating, the remains range from a few hundred years old to anywhere between 5,000 and 8,000 years old. While many of the remains appeared fresh, breeding penguins have not been recorded at the site since ancient times, according to Dr. Emsley. The team recently published their findings in the journal Geology, explaining in the study that even Adelaide penguins, the southernmost breeding penguin species, have no known active presence in Cape Irizar. Emsley and his colleagues are at a loss to explain the number of dead penguins there. Overall, our sampling recovered a mixture of old and what appeared to be recent penguin remains, implying multiple periods of occupation and abandonment of this cape over thousands of years, said Emsley. Climate change apparently revealed the penguins, which had remained buried under snow and ice for around 800 years since the Little Ice Age. Melting led to their discovery and also led the researchers to realize that this may also be why penguin colonies stopped visiting the island. As temperatures warm, however, this could change. Our only option is to wait and see. Number 2. Unusually placed corpses. Almazan, a town in Soria in Spain, is seemingly inconsequential in today's world, with its small population of just 5,500 residents. But during medieval times, it was a powerful political hub that important historical figures passed through, and it was the perfect meeting point for strategizing invasions into Muslim territory. A newly published study called Almazan, its necropolis and medieval walls, details the grisly discovery of 22 human corpses throughout Almazan, 11 of which were buried beneath the town's stone wall. Researchers believe that the wall, which is surrounded by a moat, was built in 1128. They also speculate that there may be more bodies at the site, waiting to be discovered. Unfortunately, their knowledge is severely limited by a stone that went missing after it was removed from the wall in the late 19th century. The stone contained an inscription, which modern researchers believe may be the key to identifying which king commissioned the wall's construction. According to records, the message mentioned a king named Alfonso, but the stone mysteriously vanished after the Royal Academy of History took possession of it in 1896. The institution confirmed that it no longer has the stone and has no idea where it is. To further complicate matters, more than one Alfonso ruled over the region over the years. The study attempts to tackle another of Almazan's mysteries, namely the strange placement of the bodies found there. They formulated 3 possible scenarios, the most likely one proposing that the burials were in place before the wall's construction and did not stop the builders from building it anyway. Whether the graves belonged to Christians, Jews, or Muslims is another unanswered question, as they all contain traces of wood, which was customarily used in burials of all 3 faiths. It seems as though scientists may never fully uncover the town's history without the missing stone, which hopefully turns up. Number 1. The Chaco culture. The architectural remains of the Chacoans, ancestors of the Puebloans, are found in northwestern New Mexico in the form of a vast building complex known as Chaco. Dating back between 850 and 1250 AD, the structures were once home to as many as 5,000 people who thrived in the arid, extreme climate, which sees scorching hot summers and frigid winters. There are over 400 archaeological sites at Chaco, including Pueblo Bonito, a 2-acre site containing an 800-room building that once housed an estimated 2,000 people and was equipped with sophisticated irrigation systems. The 1,000-year-old ruins boast other sophisticated features of their time, including roads. By all appearances, Chaco appears to have been a trading hub, but it also may have had ceremonial and political purposes. Researchers aren't quite sure, although some modern tribes in New Mexico consider the site sacred and occasionally hold ceremonies there. The multi-storied buildings at Chaco are oriented in solar, lunar, and cardinal directions, reflecting the civilization's advanced knowledge. Chaco was mysteriously abandoned during the 13th century, and experts are still trying to understand why. The prevailing theory suggests that methods necessary for building the site, namely deforestation and poor land use, played a perpetuating role in Chaco's collapse. Researchers recently called this theory into question in a study that was recently published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. In the new findings, scientists from the University of New Mexico claim that there is no solid evidence to back the theory that unsustainable land use or the over-allocation of resources contributed to Chaco's abandonment. While the study rejects popular notions revolving around the settlement's end, it fails to come up with an alternative explanation, leaving the world with no choice but to wonder what happened to Chaco. Thanks for watching! Remember to participate in the giveaway and be sure to hit that subscribe button if you are new here. See you next time! Bye!